It's kind of like jumping into a boat that you don't even know is seaworthy and setting off to cross the Atlantic. So it's it's pretty daunting. You've prepped an entire car, you've built an entire car, you have not gone through any sort of testing to know what's going to come loose, what's going to leak, what the suspension's like. New parts are always a little bit more mechanically bound up, if you will.
After packing up and leaving the shop for Daytona, we got an email, had an online meeting with the guys from Lamborghini, discussing some of the potential issues we might have going into Daytona with some of the new parts. When we got there, they had 3 or 4 guys in our garage waiting to go through all the process of checking out all these parts.
This is Bear from Lamborghini.
Ciao. Us getting to Daytona, we're already kind of behind the 8 ball, just budget-wise, not allowing us to be as prepared as some of the other teams. So that, again, has its issues, too, that we have to sort out and work through.
Coming into the Roar, it's a few practice sessions. Coming into Daytona itself after the Roar is just a couple practice sessions, so massive disadvantage to the rest of the field. The sophistication of what happens inside of these race cars is on a different level. So it's not only is this car mechanically sound, but is this car functioning properly with the vehicle integration?
So there were some problems with potential problems with the intake and some other electrical issues. So when we got there, but Lamborghini again was well prepared, and on top of it, especially we didn't get to shake down the car, barely ran it. We couldn't even run the car to its full capacity because their engine management system had to be updated with the new parts. So it was a big process getting in there, but the Lamborghini guys made it as easy as possible, being well prepared.
Tape on the shoe. Tape on the shoe.
You know, for me, I felt good. I had confidence up. I felt really good sitting in the car. I felt really good with traffic. My times were okay, but even more, they were consistent. So I was feeling optimistic about my drive time going into the race.
Car felt really good during practice. Kind of same thing as we said. Out of pace-wise, compared to all the other Lamborghinis, like our car was really strong. I think practice was the fastest, more or less, give or take. But we were all quite tight with us and the other cars from the manufacturer. Car felt good. Was fairly nice to drive. Big thing was just lacking top speed compared to some of the other cars. I think we were always mid-pack to like the bottom of the top, depending on where the sessions fell, and it was kind of like we were just losing tons of time in the sectors that are straights.
P3 car right behind here. It's gonna go on your high side. Outside you now. And clear.
It's always nice having a spotter, especially someone like JJ who's always on top of everything on the radio.
You know, of course, I like to think that the success of the result that we have is that I have a little bit of a part in it, you know. But for me, the work itself, it's more like, you know, I do the entire 24 hours by myself. I've done it in the past where I split it with other spotters. There's a progression in this race that the level of intensity changes throughout the race. And I feel as though if I miss that little bit, then I'm going to be coming in blind, and I could potentially miss more than if I was quote unquote rested to be not missing anything. I feel that I miss more.
With JJ, it gives you that extra little bit of confidence. You know his calls are going to be correct. You know that he knows most of the drivers on that track, so he knows what they're capable of or not capable of.
There's a lot of guidance in terms of what he can see above, and he can follow the cars that are catching up to for prior laps. But yeah, no, it just takes a lot of mental strain off you as a driver, since you could pretty much just focus on what you need to, and any information on cars coming, details like that, he'll fill you in. Obviously, you still follow and look at your mirrors and kind of assess.
So this year we have Jaden Conright, who is I would say our pro. He comes from Europe doing Porsche Carrera Cup over there, and he's got tons of experience in that, but very young, but in a way where I feel today he's ready for a manufacturer role. His work ethic is on point, and his guidance not only to our team, but also to the drivers that come in every year to partner up with him, the way that he treats them and try to elevate their game so that collectively we can have a better result is incredible. So he's our main guy. And then we have Don Yount, who's been with us for as long as I can remember. Don is your typical lover of motorsports. He does this race. I think he's done, I don't want to say it wrong, but I think he's got close to 10 starts here at Daytona and a bunch of other races. He's getting a little up there in age, but it doesn't show when he's driving. Of course, everybody has their challenges, but Don is a reliable, call it a bronze driver that we have, and it's extremely fun to work with him. He's been a massive help in raising the team, so we're very grateful for him being and sticking with us and his loyalty. Then we have Kieran Lee, who is very young. I think he's been driving for about a year or so. So this is quite a step up for him from what he's done in the past. And I think that there's a lot of potential there, but he's got a steep curve from never really done any karting or anything like that. So he's actually shown pretty well so far, but we are going to have a few challenges in terms of traffic management. I think it's just something he's never experienced before. But so far what we've seen is something that there is potential to grow. And then Alessio Deleta is our fourth driver. You look at results over the past, and you just, you do your research before a driver arrives. At least in my case, I do. I expected something, and he proved me wrong. I've got nothing but good things to say about him. Shocking from what my expectation was. His pace is on point with all the guys on the top level. Absolutely mature. We've got a good shot of if we keep our nose clean, to be in the mix as we get towards the end.
Yeah.
Obviously, we will make changes to the car, right, to improve that. But in my eyes, over here, I want to have solutions to this problem without that. And the more wheel we have, especially because we have understeer, it's going to fucking snap, or you just can't go to power at all. There is zero loss of time for him there. Okay. Normally, when you come to a braking zone, you're accelerating, right? Yeah. Then you come off the gas. Yeah.
But whatever distance you need to keep that gear in your speed and get to throttle is kind of how I approached it.
Alessio is quite good here, as you can see. Turn 1 is over by the time you're right here, which means you need to be either off the brakes completely. There should be a moment where you go to power and the thing goes whoop, and then you can continue. When you brake, I like a single apex. It's all about attacking the entry, keeping mile an hour.
About it here, as you come to the bus stop, if you feel like these guys are going to slow up in the middle of the bus stop, it's okay to do a little lift on the straight so that you can get by on the exit, but you should be able to get by this guy here. Right side is clear.
Not, because John's only changed the battery twice.
The original new one? It sucked, so we put the OG back in.
That morning, the very next morning.
Yeah, initiate off.
Fired up. Left side, clear on the bottom. Prototype coming at you on the high side here. And always give everybody the outside, man. Don't hang around in the middle. Prototype wise, just you and the Beamer. You've got 3 GTDs right behind you here. Let's watch that inside here. You can move around a little bit if you want so that they don't dive on us. And get exits out of here. Are you okay? Are you okay?
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Kieran, our customer, in practice, was getting acclimated to traffic and got caught out in the bus stop, and we put it into the wall. We damaged the right side of the car pretty bad. And it is not a situation that us as a team we're ready to battle. Parts are very limited. They're not available. So we put ourselves in a really bad spot.
Practice 2 didn't go our way. Alessio started, did quite well, handed the car over to Kurong, and the bus stop seemed to be an issue for a few cars over the weekend. They had some crashes, and unfortunately Kurong was one of those. So we crashed the car, we missed the rest of that practice. We missed night practice, which the night practice makes you eligible for the night racing at 24. So that put us at a disadvantage because Don, Alessio, and Kurong needed to do 3 laps at night to be eligible to race at night. So we missed that practice, so that put us behind strategy-wise.
Not like before, but I think it's not cracked. The good news is that the chassis is fine. We checked it inside the shell. We can run. We have to fix it. Yeah, could be okay. For the moment, we can run.
He goes, so is it going to be okay? Do we have everything? What's the part situation? I was like, we don't have shit. That's what the part situation is. And he kind of jumped out and he went, oh. I'm like, they don't have fuck all. Lambo has made a big point of, we don't have shit. They don't have enough parts to do this.
Make sure you don't get that on camera.
We're mostly apart. I'm going to start going back together now. I mean, really what this comes down to is that we're going to fix it. We're going to get it on track. And that's when we decide if we're not going to go or not, right? We're going to thrash all night long. We will get this car back together, and decide on the condition from there. There's no giving up in this. So, yeah.
Obviously with the EVO2 kit now, it's obviously there's not a lot of them, so it's been quite difficult. But these guys we've already done this once this past week. I don't know, nothing says that they can't do it again. But we are going to lose valuable track time. Maybe we go straight into the race, but we will see. But I have faith in these guys here.
Why this mess? Why this happened to me? Why?
It is 9:51 on Thursday. The car obviously is not, could be better. But yeah, I think a lot of work still to be done. I think some stuff's still shipping from out of state.
You can't cut this. You can't fuck this up. Or actually just start peeling it off.
It's kind of up in the air at the moment. Obviously, you can't put a car on track half put together or unsafe, so we'll see what we get. I mean, we're definitely going to make the race, but might be going into it blind. See what we get.
We tried to run the session at 11 a.m., but
Very close.
for me it's not possible. We have millions of things to do, bodywork, gearbox. We are currently building the gearbox with the Daytona ratio, so
Car's almost back together. Transmission's in. John's got most of the bodywork going back on. At this point, it's really just fit and finish. I mean, when you have body panels that are new in a car that's not, stuff just doesn't fit together like it should. And it's a lot of banging, a lot of taking stuff on, putting it back on again, taking it off, putting it back on again. You just do that until it fits right. So.
Practice in, what was that, Friday, which would have been FP4. We needed to use that as a test session. We did not make that test session due to having to rebuild the gearbox. We got the gearbox rebuilt. By the time it was in and done, we had missed the practice. You didn't even know what to feel, right? Like, you want to talk about feeling uneasy. You're about to enter a 24-hour race in a car you don't even know works. So not only are we going into this with having to bed brakes in a race, but also drive a car that we have not been able to shake down.
After Karong had the crash, it looked like some of us were going to be able to drive at night and some of us were not.
Going into the 24, we have a strategy of we got to get Don's time out pretty quickly. With us missing night practice, we only had Jaden eligible to race at night. So we had to get waivers for Don and for Alessio.
It was probably best that one of the bronzes stepped out. I was comfortable. I've done it 9 times.
Don got a waiver because he's done the 24 for 10 years in a row. Well, it would have been his 10th year in a row.
Getting out of the car, giving the team its best shot, and I felt it was hard because I felt like I'd been driving the best I've drove in years, and I was the most consistent I was in years. I was very comfortable, but at the same time, it was best for the team. We needed to get a gold in there or a driver that was exempt.
Don, at that point, approached the team about getting taken out of the car to put McGinnis in, Robert McGinnis, because he doesn't want to race at night, and we didn't have enough people that could put enough hours in.
Now, it turned out I ended up getting exempt the next day because I'd done Daytona so many times, but I had already made the decision. I was good with the decision, and at that point, mentally accepted the decision and stuck around to support the team and watch the race.
Karong, who was still getting up to speed, unfortunately, when he crashed, didn't make him eligible for night to drive at night. So unfortunately, Don made the switch. So for the start of the 24, we put in Alessio. Alessio did quite well in his stint. I think he moved up a couple of spots before putting Kurong in. Kurong, I would say, was a little conservative considering his crash. Lost a little bit of confidence, which is understandable. Every driver will go through that process until they get their confidence back. He handed over the car to McGuinness. And unfortunately, we had a suspension failure going into turn 1.
Something broke in the right rear, guys. You okay? All good. Something broke, didn't it? Yep, something broke.
Snap the upper in half.
16 spots, we have it. The bracket for the upper control.
Through the up and down?
Yeah.
Got Robert McGuinness in the car. Robert was laying down some great laps, some great times, keeping us where we needed to be. And we had a control arm failure. What in the universe caused this to happen? We were about 20 laps down at that point. So you kind of know what kind of boat you're in. And this year, Of course, we had, what, 6 hours straight of green flag racing, so that didn't do us any favors. What finally happened is we got into the later hours of 11, 12, and then 13, and Jaden started feeling something weird in the car and just wasn't comfortable with it. Us as a team, understanding what accident we had taken, what damage we had sustained. The team is a team, all right? Like, we're a team, we're a business, we do what we do, but like, we can't do anything without our drivers. Their life is kind of in your hands when you're a team, and you don't want to put their safety at risk. And because of that we just decided to retire the car, and you absolutely hate to see it.
Residual from the impact in practice, we had a sway bar kind of be hitting the oil tank, and then oil was leaking everywhere, and we had to retire the car, unfortunately, just because we were worried that the engine was going to blow up. So it's unfortunate.
Sitting in from my position to watch all of the guys, all of their hard work, everything that they've put into it, not show some sort of result and have to call the car early, it's heartbreaking. It's something you just don't want to feel. And what's interesting is you kind of shake that Etch-a-Sketch every race you go into. I don't think you get used to it. Like, the feeling doesn't get easier ever, right? Like, every time you get disappointed like that, it hurts just as bad as the first time, and it sucks. And to have to hang it up, even though we're 20 to 30 laps down, you just don't want to quit. You don't want that to happen, and it does, and it stings. It just absolutely stings.